What's on your playlist right now?
In my class.
Go to guilty pleasure food.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
My name is Dr. Alyssa Weakley, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Neurology at University of California, Davis. And I'm both a neuropsychologist and a researcher. My research focuses on developing and evaluating technologies for older adults with cognitive impairment, as well as the individuals who help take care of them.
Alyssa, welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you
to
for
be here.
Good of you to be here with us. You're an expert in Alzheimer's research, and you're also relying on federal funding for that work, is my understanding.
That's correct.
Can you just tell the audience a little bit about the technology that you're using or you're developing for your work and how it's helping patients with becoming independent or staying independent and those sort of things?
Yeah, absolutely. So I use a variety of different technology tools to help support independence and remote caregiving. So that's caregiving done by a family member who's living outside of the home. And I started with developing a web app for individuals' management of daily activities. So within that web application, there are different tools that are easy to use for somebody who's having cognitive difficulties and low level of technology expertise. So there are things like easy to use calendar where they can go in and set things on their own with multiple levels of reminders. There's also a to-do list. There is easy to use video chat and other communication tools so they can communicate with their family members, and a collaborative note section. And we call it interactive care because it's really meant to be interactive between the individual who has cognitive difficulties as well as their family members. So their family members can also log on and help them with managing their day-to-day life. And it's a really easy tool for them to use and to communicate through.
So it sounds like these are tools we're going to all be able to use whether we have cognitive impairment or not as we age, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and that would definitely be the goal.
So what was the motivation behind developing the technology?
Yeah, I've always been very interested in developing technology for individuals with cognitive impairment. I started in graduate school with creating, working on projects related to smart homes. And I was very aware of the different technologies that are available to support independent living at home. However, when my grandmother started to develop cognitive impairment, there wasn't anything that really could meet our needs of taking care of her in Southern California where she was living by herself. And so that's where the idea of this interactive online platform came, so that we would have a way to help support her from a distance. And so I was able to apply my knowledge in cognitive rehabilitation as well as my knowledge of technology to start to develop this platform.
That's fantastic. So tell us about your training, like where were you trained and how did that prepare you for what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I was trained at Washington State University in the Department of Psychology. And I was involved in this really unique program funded by the National Science Foundation. And it was called IGERT, and it's an integrative training program across disciplines, and it focuses around a specific problem. So in my department in psychology, we partnered with computer science to create smart technology, particularly for unobtrusive monitoring of everyday activities in people's homes. We also created different types of applications and used machine learning to solve important problems like early detection of cognitive impairment. So it laid this really amazing foundation of cross-collaborative work and gave me the knowledge of what other disciplines are doing and how I can use my skills to come to the table with them, and they can use their skills, and we can work on these challenges that really do require interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary teams.
Yeah, let's talk about that a bit. You require, the work you're doing requires input from people with different expertise, and that leads to better solutions. And I think, teams like that and all forms of science and
technology research get better outcomes. Has that been your experience?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's my favorite part of doing research is doing this collaboration across disciplines and across the causeway. I think it provides a really richness to the type of work that we're doing. If I come at it from only my perspective, I can only go so far. So it's really important to have those collaborations with computer science, engineering, and linguistics to really create novel solutions to solve these challenges.
It's always important to have engineers in the project.
Totally important to have engineers.
Talk about students and how you train students and how students are helpful in developing the work that you do.
Absolutely. So I work with students ranging from high school level all the way to graduate and postdoctoral students. And they're really integral to this challenge as well because they come with fresh perspectives and their own knowledge base and experiences. And what's so rewarding is to get them involved in dementia care and become aware of this problem and how to develop new techniques and tools. And then I get to also pass on my training in multidisciplinary work to them. And so they're leaving not only with some expertise in one domain, but also that common language and ability to collaborate with individuals outside of their domains. And that's led to really exciting work and projects from that.
That's what we're here for, to educate the students and pass on our knowledge to them. What are some of the challenges that you've faced in this work?
Yeah, so some of the challenges relate to just kind of getting started. Coming in and as an early career faculty member and getting a lab started and getting the resources needed to do this kind of work has been a challenge. It's challenging work to do something that is multidisciplinary, so creating the relationships with individuals that you can trust and you can kind of rally around. And then getting the funding that you need to support this work. It's not done, for free. It takes a lot of resources to do anything involving technology. But then when you get human subjects involved and other things, it becomes very costly. And so getting the funding is really important to maintain that.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little more. The resources would certainly involve federal funding, I'm assuming.
Sure.
So could you do what you do without federal funding?
I don't think so. I mean, I've gotten pilot funds from different organizations, and those have been really helpful. I've gotten funds from Healthy Aging in a Digital World to really start the development of it, and that's an initiative through UC Davis. And that was really important for getting the groundwork and getting a beta version of the application that I have. I've also had some funds from Citrus as well, which helped with creating more of the interdisciplinary work with my partner at UC Merced, Shija Pan, who is an engineer, and we do a lot of really cool work together. And all of those types of fundings are really important to get things going, to get you some pilot data, some information so you can iterate upon. But without having larger amounts of funds from federal sources, it becomes really hard to move to the next step of this type of research and to do it across multiple years. Because pilot funds will give you enough money for a year, maybe two, but it doesn't extend beyond that. And so bringing in talent that can help you create the technology that you want and then test it, especially in a clinical trial, which is what my goal is to do a randomized clinical trial to see the effectiveness of this technology. That takes resources and time, and we've been really reliant on the federal government to do that for some time.
Yeah, and that investment by the federal government pays off. Because it allows you to do what you do and improve the lives of the people that you that have cognitive impairments and
Absolutely.
The benefit from the technology you're developing. So it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, very well said, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to change gears.
Sure.
We have a part of the show we call Hot Seat.
Okay.
And you're on the hot seat.
All right.
But it's not that bad. I'm just going to ask you a few sort of rapid-fire questions
looking for a one-word or one-sentence kind of answer.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. In an alternative universe, what would you be doing?
Well, I started to go into veterinary medicine. That's what I wanted to do when I was younger. So it's still like medically related.
Yeah, not too far away.
Not too far off. I think I've always been very interested in science and helping. So I think I would still be in some sort of helping field.
Great. What's your favorite thing about the fall?
Oh, the fall. I grew up on a cranberry farm. And so my favorite thing about fall was the ripening of the berries and the deep crimson color that they have and the smells that came along with that. And so like when I think about fall, I think about like my childhood and growing up in that space.
Yeah. So you're in the right place at UC Davis.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite hobbies?
Oh, my favorite hobbies. You know, as a researcher, we don't have a ton of them other than writing papers. You know, and writing grants. That's a great hobby. Beyond that, I really enjoy being outside and running with my dog and walking along the river. It's very relaxing, therapeutic, and good for my brain health.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. What's the best spot to eat on UC Davis Health Campus?
Ooh, on Health Campus. You know, there's not a ton of places to eat on campus, but there are some great places that aren't too far afield from campus. One of my favorite places to eat is Queen Sheba. It's Ethiopian food on Broadway, so it's pretty close to the Sacramento campus. Yeah. They got a great buffet during the week.
Ethiopian is good food. I like it too. Last question. This one I ask all my guests.
Okay.
What artist is on your playlist right now?
Okay, so I thought about this question, and I thought I was going to come. And I looked at my playlist, and the number one song that's been playing is Shape Song number 2, because I have a toddler. Okay. And so we do a lot of Shape songs. He's really into geometry right now.
That's great. How old is your toddler?
He's 3.
3, okay,
yeah.
Good age. Now it's your turn. You can ask me whatever you want to ask.
All right. Yeah, so thinking about that causeway divide, I'm curious like how you envision integrating the campuses and how to really create this multidisciplinary work that we have.
Yeah, a number of things. You know, we can't do much about the traffic or the work on the causeway, but we did several years ago introduce the Causeway Connection, which is the bus that travels back and forth. It's free for participants between the two campuses, and that's pretty well utilized. We also try to encourage everyone to use technology when available, Zoom and other types of technology for meetings and do less travel back and forth. But we really want the folks on Davis campus and Sacramento campus to feel like they're at the same university, and that's really the goal. So whether it's by going back and forth on the Causeway Connection or by having joint activities and meetings virtually or whatever the mechanism, we just want to be one UC Davis.
Yeah, I love that. I love that term, one UC Davis. That's fantastic. So as a early career researcher, I'm curious what types of advice, you know, looking back on your career, you have for somebody who's starting out, building their lab and kind of just starting out in their career.
I guess the main piece of advice, well, maybe I'll give two. One is to find a mentor, someone who has some experience that you could bounce ideas off of and be a resource for you. And the other I would say is to not ever get too discouraged when you have adversity. You have to be persistent because things are not going to always happen the way you want them to happen. Try to learn from those situations and use that to persist in getting the work done that you want to accomplish.
I like that term, persist, in adversity.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings me to my next question about, you know, how UC Davis plans to support early career researchers during this time of uncertainty with federal funding, and how we can, you know, ensure that that the work gets done. That's important.
Yeah, that's a really good question, very timely. I think we had a good model when we had the pandemic for how to try to take into account these sort of external factors that might affect careers. This one may last longer than 2 years, but who knows? But I think the Academic Senate, both here locally and the Senate System Senate, have been thinking about ways to accommodate young faculty in their careers in this changing environment. So we'll certainly have more flexibility and certainly be aware of what situations you are facing as you try to develop your career going forward.
Yeah,
so,
great.
Yeah. I think that's it for the questions, and I think that's all for today. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank Alyssa for being a guest. You were fantastic. And I think we'll wait and see you next time on Face to Face. Go Ags.